The other thing to say is, because you talked about Northern Ireland, that is the prize that is on offer. Because if we get this right, if we get this framework implemented, if we get the executive back up and running here, Northern Ireland is in the unbelievably special position, unique position in the entire world, European continent, in having privileged access, not just to the UK home market, which is enormous, 5th biggest in the world, but also the European Union single market. Nobody else has that. No one. Only you guys, only here. And that is the prize. I can tell you, when I go around the world and talk to businesses, they know that. They're like, that's interesting. If you guys get this sorted, then we want to invest in Northern Ireland. Because nowhere else does that exist. That's like the world's most exciting economic zone.
Prime Minister Rishi Sunak telling us how wonderful it is that Northern Ireland gets privileged access to the single market after he helped take the rest of the UK out of it, inflicting untold economic damage on the country in the process.
The Centre for Economic Reform claims the government has lost out on £40 billion in taxes because of the damage done to the country's output by leaving the European Union.
It was one of the biggest lies of Brexit, that we could simply replace the economic upside of being part of the most advanced free trade zone in the world. This is what Sunak was saying in 2017.
Staying inside the single market would be a betrayal of that vote. It means that we would still be subject to the free movement of people, we would still be subject to the European Court of Justice and paying a large amount of money into the European budget. I think people would view that as very much staying inside the European Union. So I think we need to be clear about that. Fair enough that Chuka wants to stay there. He's made that commitment to his constituents. But the rest of the country, I think we voted to leave, and leaving means removing ourselves from those institutions. And I think on that point, of course we want to have close relationships with the European Union after we leave. I completely agree. There's no reason we can't. You don't have to be a member of the single market to have access with it and to trade.
But the simple fact is no independent trade deal could ever replace the economic upside of being part of the most advanced free trade zone in the world, something which Mr. Sunak, now Prime Minister, appears to accept.
That is the prize that is on offer.
The fact is, the Conservative government has become the first government in history to actually impose trade barriers on itself, and this is the result.
We see the UK pretty close to the bottom of the league table in terms of the forecast for economic growth, particularly in 2023. So the UK essentially sees no growth at all, and the only country that was worse than the UK was sanctioned Russia.